So there are loads of things that I want to cross off my list to see before I die. They might want to go and see the Great Pyramids of Giza. You might want to check out Niagara Falls. For me, I want to check out the world's largest glitter ball. You see me? Hello? So this is the biggest dance hall mirror ball in the world. It has 47,000 glass tiles and it weighs around 4.5 tons. It was designed by Michael Trainer back in 2002. Looking a little bit sorry for itself at the moment, I have to say. So all these lights here light up the glitter ball as it goes round, and it should look pretty spectacular at night. And this is all part of the Great Promenade show, which has got loads of sculptures and trails which go all the way from here past the Pleasure Beach towards the casino. So this is where we're going to start our seafront tour in Blackpool. The mirror ball is just there, and we're going to walk along the promenade all the way up towards North Pier. Now obviously you can go by tram or by bus. I'm deciding to walk. I don't know whether I'll have any legs left. It's also the Illuminations start just up there as well, and obviously they get switched on I think sometime in August, and they are going to be extended this year because of coronavirus. I think they go on till November or the end of November. So just there is the big one, which used to be known as the Pepsi Max, and when it was built, I'm not sure whether it was the world's or it was Europe's tallest roller coaster. And as you can see, it is pretty high. I've been on it many times. I don't know what's worse, going on it at night or going on it during the day. When you go over the first hill though, I do feel like I'm gonna die. But it is such a great ride. And on certain times throughout the year, you can actually walk all the way to the top of the lift hill. New hotel there that's been added recently, the Hamilton. Stayed in there myself actually, and this looks really cool at night when it's lit up as well. So where to stay in Blackpool, that's the question. Up the north part, you've got all these hotels along North Shore. My favourite hotel there, which I'm staying in, which is the Big Blue. In fact, let me just quickly show you where I'm staying. So I don't do many room tours, but I just quickly want to show you my room that I'm staying in tonight. This is a deluxe double. And the reason why I like this room, not only for the fact they've got a nice fireplace and these lovely seats, is that you can ask for a Pleasure Beach view. When you open these up, that is what you get met with. If you like theme parks, well, you'd absolutely love it. You see the big one literally coming past your window. You can see the big one just up there. You can see the Big Dipper and their latest ride that they've had recently. If you remember these horses on here as well, the steeplechase goes past. So yeah, if you like theme parks, this is an amazing room to stay in because you're literally right on the Pleasure Beach. Massive TV, fireplace, nice comfy seats. It looks like snake or alligator. Footstool, some nice flowers. Complimentary water, I hope so. Comfy double bed, just quickly show you the bathroom if anyone's really interested, sometimes they are. Ooh, complimentary coffee and tea and their sunshine biscuits. These are really nice. Bathroom's quite nice as well. All the amenities you could want, including, always a perk, free shampoo and shower gel. Right, let's get on with the tour. It's very nice, and also their sister hotel, which opened up just at the beginning of this year. I stayed in there in February, actually, just before coronavirus. That's the Boulevard, in the shadow of the big one. So it used to be a rather famous pub sitting on this area at the Pleasure Beach, and the Pleasure Beach have invested millions of pounds in doing this hotel up and actually redoing all of these as well. And one of our first attractions here on South Beach is the Horror Crypt. It's now closed for good, unfortunately, but the guy who owns it is going to open up a horror attraction somewhere on the Central Promenade. And coming up, the legendary Ripley's, believe it or not. In fact, one of the few places in the world where people come to get pregnant, literally by putting their hands on a fertility statue inside. This Indiana Jones guy doesn't seem to be moving at the moment, but he's often seen going up and down all day long. You see all these little areas here for the illuminations when they're on. I think that does like a water show or something. I didn't get a chance to go on the Pleasure Beach this time, but I wanted to point out this particular place here. This is the Passage del Terror, which means Passage of Terror. It was once voted as one of the scariest attractions in the UK. So there's all these tram stops literally along the seafront, so you can't go wrong if you get a little bit tired of walking. The only thing I'd mention though is to be careful, because the trams are so silent you can't hear them coming, so when you're crossing over, like I'm doing right now, you just got to be aware. And my top tip for travelling up and down the seafront, get yourself on the tram and get yourself a 24-hour ticket, which allows you to go on the bus or the train on and off as much as you like for 24 hours. So this is a must-see on the seafront. This place is absolutely huge. It's the Sandcastle. It's one of the few indoor water parks in the UK. And what's really freaky is you see people, you see their bodies just shooting down the slides every so often. There's no one on there at the moment. The theming to this water park is just great. I wish there were a few more of these around the country. So you've got the water park for the kids, and for the adults, you've got the casino, where I've lost lots of my money in the past. Just over there is my favourite Wetherspoons, the Velvet Coaster. Has some great seating up on the top there. The view you get when you look this way towards the Pleasure Beach with just all that steel and that humongous roller coaster is quite a sight. So from the Velvet Coaster, you've got South Pier. So they've got 3 piers in Blackpool. I think each of them have their own unique identity. This one I would say has got the most amount of fair rides on it. They're a bit funny about filming, so I can't go on the pier and film. They've got loads of these bungees on the pier as well, and definitely this one, which takes you up to the top there and lets you go and swings right through it. I've never had the balls to do it, but I would definitely love to. The classic bungee there, which shoots you up and down, and right on the end, you've got a wild mouse, which if you've ever been on a wild mouse before, you know they fling you around, and so you feel like you're going to come off and land in the sea. Central Pier in the distance with the big wheel on it, and then you've got the North Pier, both of which do loads of family entertainment as well. If you come along with the kids, you'll see that the illuminations pretty much stay up for most of the year. They take some parts of it down, but most of it stays up. So in the distance there, you can see up towards, which will be going around the corner of the Lake District. And if I swing round, you just look underneath the pier, you can probably just make out Southport and Lytham St Anne's. It is a bit of a shame really, because you've got all the attractions up that end of the seafront and South Pier and the Pleasure Beach, and then you've got maybe a few restaurants and hotels, and then this kind of void until you get up to Central Pier, which is taking longer than I thought. All the seagulls here. Having a lovely view, don't mind me. The seagull is bigger than the tower. So yeah, I'm really gutted about the cloud today. The forecast said it was going to rain. Luckily it hasn't, so as long as it doesn't rain, I'll be happy. Just goes to show it's not always sunny when I do my videos. So yeah, as I said, the tide goes well out, and I remember one summer actually walking along here, I saw loads of jellyfish. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever had a problem with jellyfish around here. We're going to make our way up towards Central Pier, and then of course checking out the iconic Blackpool Tower. Tell you what, great exercise running up and down these steps. When they were building this, it must have been very difficult, and they must have had to judge the tides coming in and lay these as quickly as possible. But it's so unique as sea defences go, because obviously it helps with the wave action, but it's a great place to come and have a sit. If you get a little bit tired, just plonk yourself down. And in fact, when the weather's nice, You do see these absolutely full of people sitting down, having a picnic. I don't think I'll be dipping my toe in the sea today. So this tide is pretty quick here on the Fylde coast. I mean, it's gone out just in the last 10-15 minutes, probably around about 20 or 30 meters. So obviously when you are walking on the beach, just be aware the tide can come in pretty quick. But there's no like sandbars that you'd get stuck out on. It's pretty much as it starts coming in, you just gotta get out of the way or get your feet wet. So as you can see, the distance between the piers is quite far, and no visit to Blackpool would be complete without a ride on the donkeys. Tide's gone out, the donkeys are on the beach ready to go. Love these retro arcades, look. And here is Central Pier. I thought I would do my annual walking under the pier, because this is Central Pier and the Victorian architecture, which you can see, is still standing through the tests of time and the storms that you get here in Blackpool. I mean, the Irish Sea is cruel, especially in the winter and even in the summer. But I just love coming under piers because I think they're so atmospheric. And as you walk under here, you can see the old wooden trusses and all the bits of ironwork that literally, well, which look like they're eroding away a little bit. And they've recently suffered with a little bit of a nasty fire, but it didn't actually damage too much of the pier. I think it only damaged like an outbuilding or something like that. Look how the seagulls are just using this little area here as a wind trap on the steps. That is so funny. They look like they're all dead. They are all alive. And you'll never see a seagull not face the wind. Not sure if that's actually still going or that post just been left up there. I can't see where it would be, to be honest. And the famous Coral Island here in Blackpool. Recently they had a little bit of a nasty fire just at the front of the building here, but luckily it didn't spread to the rest of the arcade. And a casino on the end there. So the weather today is literally on and off. 1 minute it's cloudy and the next minute it is sunny. But it is great because the sun has popped out as I have arrived here at Blackpool Tower. As you can see, it's pretty impressive. This is also impressive as well, and you can walk around and check out all these bits of newspaper articles and comedy legends that have graced the stages here in Blackpool. And right here on the central part of the seafront, not far from Central Pier, is the Blackpool Tower. It was built as a symbol of the north and also to attract holidaymakers to the northwest. So I've left the seafront just down there, and we're going to take a look at a few buildings that are noteworthy in the town centre. And coming up here is the Winter Gardens in Blackpool. It's one of Europe's biggest entertainment complexes. They host touring shows, pantomimes, and plenty of ballroom dancing competitions. So just wanted to point this out. You'll see these signs all over the town centre pointing you to areas of interest, and this is quite special. This is Blackpool's famous Brilliant Arches on Burley Street in the town centre, and it normally plays host to a month of outdoor performances of live music and light, part of the Lightpool programme in Blackpool. Some of the LED lights are still on, you can see there. I've actually seen it at night before when they've been on, and it does look spectacular. And coming up to one of the most popular buildings here in Blackpool, a massive iconic building with its cabaret bar and burlesque show, it's Funny Girls. The amount of work that goes into some of these shows are absolutely phenomenal. It's definitely worth checking out if you're here in Blackpool for a couple of nights. So just past North Pier, there are loads of these little places where you can come and have a sit down, and the Victorian architecture on them are so beautiful. So I'd say this end of Blackpool, from the North Pier up towards Fleetwood, is where you would see a lot of the old-fashioned illuminations stuck on the front. And a lot of people miss these out when they do the illuminations, because they kind of come up to North Pier and then they kind of turn around. But up here, I've got a lot of the illuminations that I remember from a child. Some of them are quite scary. You'll see what I mean in a minute. So a lot of the illuminations are done by local artists, but this particular one outside the Best Western Carlton, you just see that there, and these two, these were designed by Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen. And I know this because I watched the Channel 5 TV show Bargain Loving Brits in Blackpool, and they spent their whole marketing budget on it. Looks nice. I'm sure it looks a lot better lit up at night. So I'm literally heading to that tiny little building in the distance. I didn't realise it was going to be such a long walk from North Pier, but I'll continue. Love the architecture here in Blackpool. It's like time has stood still. Obviously it's weathering quite a lot, but the glimpses of the old cast iron railings here as well, they've obviously been painted. So we're getting a little bit closer. You could just see it there in the distance. That's where we're heading to. And all this you can see here is not actually natural. All these rocks are artificial. And just up here past North Pier is the Jubilee Gardens, just on Glyn Square in Blackpool. And in Victorian times, it used to be the place to go and to be seen. They also used to have illuminations down here back in the day. Coming up to another famous hotel with the brilliant Victorian architecture. Up here is the Cliffs. I was saying about the illuminations, and a lot of the old illuminations are up here. And if you've ever driven up this way, you'll see them all up there. That looks really good lit up at night. A little bit religious. So if you ever want to find the boating lake, where it is along the seafront, this building gives it away. It is the old cabin lift, which hasn't been used in about, I don't know, 15, 20 years, something like that. But it is such a unique building, I had to come and pay a visit. So you can just see how big this boating lake was, and it's been now turned into a karting track, but the camera doesn't show you just how big it is sticking out into the water. It feels just like really weird to be down here because it is just so big. It's got a weird feeling about it. I don't understand why. I think maybe because obviously the rocks are all coming at you pretty high and all the concrete probably around, but yeah, I feel weird down here. Why is that? Maybe I'm a little bit psychic and I'm getting psychic feelings or something. That bench does not look very comfortable, does it? So you can see all these in the distance. They're the start of the stand-up illuminations that have been up here for a long time, and they're just starting to put them up now. They don't take them all down, but most of them do come down and then put back up again for when the lights begin at the end of August. And that's one of my favourite ones. There's normally music, I think it's Michael Jackson's Thriller, and all these little faces do a little bit of singing. It's really good. You can see them just all the way up the seafront as they're starting to put them back, ready for this season. And these two in particular are quite old. I remember seeing them as a kid, had a bit of a facelift, new bulbs and a bit of a repaint. That one looks really great at night. I know they look a little bit strange during the day. This one I used to like as a kid. Stuntman doing his thing and then jumping over. So yeah, all this is artificial. I can see glimpses of pink in it as well. So at one stage maybe it was all that colour. I don't know. So just walking back from the boating lake, I've come to realise that the trams come like every 20 minutes or so. So if you miss one, you got to wait at least about 15 to 20 minutes. And I can't be bothered to wait, so I'm just walking to the next tram stop, hoping that I'll get on it. But I did this yesterday, and every time I started walking to the next tram stop, the tram would just come out of nowhere, and then I would miss it. So top tip, if you're going to take the tram, just be patient and wait. Or you'll just keep walking and walking and walking and missing and missing. That's what I keep doing. Thank you so much for joining me in Blackpool. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Remember to hit subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when a new video is up. And if you'd like to support the channel, you can do it various ways. You can support me on Patreon and also brand new Walk With Me merchandise. There's hoodies on there, t-shirts, face masks, walking leggings and so much more. Thanks for walking with me. I'll see you next time.